Why, hello. It's that time again. Hildibrand time. Yo, I was hoping you'd drop by. It took a bit of doing, but I was able to widen the crack I made in the storage device and yank out a couple of new scraps of data. The first file just so happened to be a record of Kanan's procedure. Seems the bastard's soul was poured into one of those clot-type monsters. They've got an annoying talent for mimicking shapes and faces, which is exactly what Carnelian took advantage of when he tricked us with this fake Kameka. Never fear, Inspector Hildibrand is here. The other file I pulled had details on yet another monster-fied criminal. This mook was nabbed to repeated vehicular violations, riding his air-wheeler too fast, making reckless maneuvers, endangering others, that sort of thing. According to the data, he's running around in the booty of a body of a cactar right now. Judging by what we've seen of the researchers' schemes, he'll have dispatched the prickly speed demon somewhere outside the dome. But where? Rejoice, my good detective, for I, Hildibrand, an agent of inquiry, come bearing the very direction you seek. I have it straight from the mouth of the real Kameka that an ambulatory cactus piloting a flying contraption was supposedly observed streaking through the sky on a southerly bearing. Alas, despite hastening to confirm the sighting, our intrepid sheriff arrived too late to see the needle-covered individual in question. The report was summarily dismissed as a fanciful imaginings of inebriated townsfolk. The insistent chirp of veteran instinct nonetheless impelled me to investigate. Thus did my faithful assistant and I venture further south to question the colorful crowds of Tuliolo. Yes. There to find Somner witness eager to tell an airborne succulent. They said it was moving at an incredible pace, sat astride a vehicle like the ones the mechanical invaders had ridden. It was last seen zipping past a dirigible before vanishing into the clouds to the south. Alexandria's soldiers ride on air-wheelers, so unless there's other flying cactar out there somewhere, I think we have our man. Good work. Almost too good, in fact. Over there, is that a new case I spy? Hardly had to bait the hook. They're the real deal, alright. Although, come to think of it, I don't know why anyone would bother impersonating either of them to begin with. At least, the lead seems solid enough, but if we're serious about catching this guy, we'll need an air-wheeler of our own. Come on, there's a shop nearby that does custom jobs. love this game. Oh, I could go for a nice bowl of custard. Did he say to do a custard jobs? This is the place. I used to be a regular here, but I ain't been back in a while. Let's see if they still remember me. Well, well, look who the wind blew in. Manam, come for my steed. That battered old heap. It's been resting in my garage floor for so long, I doubt it could manage to slow a trot. A slow trot, let alone a gallop. Happy to give it a tune-up if you've credits to burn, but I'll need you to supply some parts. A new high-voltage battery and a superconductor coil at a minimum. The chirometer's ticking. I'll see if I can get my hands on a battery. But can I ask you to track down the coil? These soft-boiled dopes wouldn't know a suspension spring from an anti-gravity gimbal. But you, I can trust to find the right part without cracking under the pressure. Our Boyle seems desperate to get this air wheeler up and running, so I'll give you a tip. You want a coil quick like, then salvaging the rides of defective sentries is your best bet. I'll even lend you a handy gadget to help you out. Set off on the distress signal on the west side of Old Alexandria, and you'll soon have some murderous mechanical company to dismantle for parts. I'll take these two along with me on the battery hunt. Good luck out there. It's funny, I have so many mounts, but I'm content with the alpaca, even though it's basic. I don't know. There's something about riding an alpaca that I really like in a Final Fantasy game. I see. Well, get your hands on a coil. Aye, that should do the trick. Now, where did me mates run off to? Can't be that hard to find a store what sells batteries. You should probably head over to the Nexus arcade and see what's keeping them. Yo, any trouble picking up that coil? Nothing you couldn't handle, I'll wager. As for the battery, I brought one easily enough. Problem was convincing the inspector his gal had to stick around after he caught whiff of tantalizing familiarity. Long story short, they wandered off and haven't come back. Suppose we ought to go look for them, eh? Is that a corpse? A smiling corpse? Haha, you need not fret, detective. This dapper zombie is an old acquaintance of mine. Allow me to introduce myself, good sir. I am a proud member of the Gentle Dead Men, a disciple of Master Zombiebrand. I have been on the road, seeking out new recruits of our merry, moldering band. Said search is what brought me here, and into the midst of this unexpected yet most welcome reunion. I don't usually hold with necromancy, but he seems harmless enough, so if you're done catching up, we've got a case to work on. In actual fact, our conversation was almost entirely case adjacent. Implying his nose for festering fellows, this gentle zombie traced the stench of necromantic decay to the very facility in which I once slumbered. Yes, I became fast friends with one of the reanimated researchers there. During the process of getting to know each other, he spoke briefly of the only person left alive after the incident. According to my new charnel chum, all the lab workers perished when an accident resulted in the leakage of a highly toxic substance. All that is, save for a single man who habitually wore a protective gas mask. Keshii is his name. He was second in charge after the overseer himself, yet disdained by his peers as a condescending know-it-all. They did, however, grudgingly recognize his passion for his work. Even after devoting a full day to official experiments, He would pour his remaining time and energy into some mysterious side project. And he was the sole survivor researcher, you say? Sounds like we finally have a name for our mastermind. Courtesy of the shambling undead, no less. No matter how many years I do this job. Well, thanks for that. Glad to be of service. Now, if you'll excuse me, my new recruit and I have our cafe tour planned. So that fellow was an honest-to-God's walking corpse, huh? I've met weird folks in my line of work, but do you always keep company with such oddballs? Yep. Ah, that was out of line. It's just, I reckon there are forces in this world you're better off not messing with. Anyway, let me take these parts back to Monum and get my wheeler repaired. Shouldn't take too long. I'll ride him back here to make sure he's running smoothly, and you can see the magnificent beast in all his glory. Detective Hildibrand seems somewhat nervous, excited to reclaim his pride and joy, perhaps. Oh shit. Cutscene. Core, would you look at that? What do you think, yo? I call him the Night Stallion. He's a custom job built for yours truly, and has far too much horsepower for the average mook to handle. Anti-gravity capabilities are standard, but when it comes to ground speed, he's been tweaked to achieve the highest possible performance. The trick is to install quick heating motor coils. But won't the increased heat compromise the Magitech field's integrity, you ask? Well, that's a valid concern. A harder drivetrain responds completely differently when you open up the throttle end. You, get your filthy hands off my ride. I merely thought to enhance your beloved seat with a touch of Salamanderville. So you had this amazing machine this whole time. Why haven't you been riding it until now? Ah, so fresh and innocent. The spitting image of my assistant. Wait. I'll never forget the day I hung up my spurs. It was right after I'd caught Carnelian. I've been simmering in thoughts of vengeance, fit to burst my shell at any moment. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this. big house is too good for the likes of the Crime King. See you in hell, your majesty. Should have pulled the trigger when you had the chance. You've gone soft, hard-boiled. The flashback exceeds the legal length. Laced with illicit embellishments, no doubt. Stick to the facts. That was cool. To cut the chase, my assistant was avenged. Slinging the Crime King into the slammer took me off the boil. And riding cold just ain't my style. But now, the Carnelian's on the streets again. It's time for me to get back in the saddle. They were saying that Cactar Punk flew over Thule whatever, then blew past the dirigible on his way south, right? What kind of territory are we looking at? Lots of big trees, are there? Let's make this Yaktail dirigible landing our starting point. I'll take Night Stallion and meet you there. I wish I had a shiny air-wheeler like the detective. I'd finally be able to keep up with the inspector. Unfortunately, I have to watch my little sister in a little bit, so I have to cut the recording here. But fear not, 'tis not the end of the video or Hildibrand's adventures. I will continue this later tonight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a second. Yeah. Alright. Been a minute, but we're continuing the video. Right. We shall find our way to this cocktail dirigible landing. See you there. I'm pretty sure it was Yaktail Inspector. That was my first time aboard a dirigible, just not so different from an airship, if said airship had to jettison its own means of propulsion. Sailing through the air is a lovely way to travel. Ah, you made it. Even this jaded old gumshoe had to appreciate that view coming in over the treetops. Anyway, I talked to the locals while waiting for your lot to arrive, and one fella had seen Mr. Cactar flying down to the lower forest. I'm told the biggest place out that way is a settlement called Mamuk, so that'll be our next destination. Let's head over there, walk the streets, ask some questions. You know, the usual. Very good, detective, but what's become of your wondrous wheeler? Night Stallion would draw more attention than I'd like. I'll use the autopilot function to call him if I need him, but otherwise I'll make do with my own 2 feet. Level for that. That must be the 3rd. Society quest chain / dailies. Maybe one day. Not today though. Such a dense proliferation of forest giants. I'm reminded of the 12's wood. Core, it's awfully dark here beneath the company canopy. That must be Mamuk. They build things different down here, huh? But we ain't got time to admire the architecture. Spread out and find someone who's clapped eyes on that cactar. Why, yes, I did see an unusual creature riding a strange vehicle through the forest at breaknecking speeds. The vehicle's terrible noise is what first drew my attention, followed by the incomprehensible yelling of its pilot. Yet the sight of this posturing man-plant was so absurd I found myself more bemused than frightened. As I said. Okay. He'd be spiky and green, riding a strange flying machine. Yes, I've encountered the fiend you describe. The forest has its share of fantastical creatures, but this one was undeniably out of place. I observed it smashing one of the giant meteorites with a club, then racing away with the broken pieces. Make of that what you will. Ah, the subject of recent gossip. I crossed paths with the creature myself, and it was indeed odd. But the machine it rode upon was the true wonder. He pulled up alongside me in my Wivery, challenged us to a race, then zoomed off with astounding swiftness. If you're planning to catch that fiend, you'll need an equally miraculous mount. So, what's the wrap? The testimonies I gathered were very much the same. There is a cactuar racing around out there, that much can be certain. But if he's making stops to bag meteorite fragments, then this ain't no simple joyride. Talk to me, yo. Something about those rocks I oughta know. Some kind of special etheric radiation, eh? We haven't pieced together Quiche's big plan yet, but he seems real interested in those space stones. Which means we've got a good chance of finding his spiky goon by stalking out the spots where the meteorites are. If we nab the cactuar, we can make him lead us straight to the researcher, and to Carnelian. When I say us, I mean me and the Night Stallion, of course. Once we find them, the rest of you won't be giving chase without an air-wheeler. I need no such contrivance. These lakes have been conditioned by an intensive chocobo-bearing exercise regimen. Well, good luck to them. Still think he's a weak-willed punk, but I can't deny that uncanny body of his is made of sterner stuff. Let's get on with it then. I hear there's a few good-sized meteorites alongside the road that leads out of town. We'll start at the near end and hope the Mook puts in an appearance. Is that clumsy of trying to hide? Fancy meeting you here. I too deduced that this may very well be the scene of our criminal's next crime. Who knew meteorites were so big or bumpy? No wheeler riding cactuar around here. Let's move on. Ah, that idiot inspector took off like he had the case all soon up. But running fast didn't find him any leads, did it? Near I thought he was onto something. That way, Nashu. I think I may be onto something. you could endure by a little while longer, Nashu. Is it almost time to eat? Read that backwards. Is that adult trying to keep out of sight or not? No sign of him here either. On to the next meteorite. I detect a hint of criminality in that direction. Onwards, Nashu. We mustn't let the detective beat us to the punch. Mr. Nashu, you know, but oh well. Travel tacos. I say, these bananas are quite good. I could murder an egg right about now. Look out and stand aside, or it's 1,000 needles in your hide. Make way for the uncatchable spike. What the fuck? It's the opposite. This one looks right for the smashing. Hold it right there. I'm gonna need you to hop off that air wheeler. Huh? Ah, you must be the blowhards I was warned about. Think you can give me orders to the succulent seedster? My right is maxed out with black market mobs and there ain't no one faster. Keep up if you can, slowpokes. If it's that way it's gotta be. Challenge accepted. To me, Night Stallion, it's time to burn rubber. I'm right behind you. And I'm right behind you, Inspector. Yeah. Damn it, the Sion's at full gallop and I'm still trailing. Twould seem you require my assistance after all. What the? You caught up with me on foot? Fine, change your plans. Where's my damn python? I'll just tweak the weapon's elemental settings like so. With this steering and me providing the thrusts, that fiend will soon learn a harsh lesson. Nothing outruns a fired up Mandeville man. Are they actually gaining on me? Come on then. I need feel I feel the needle for speed. That's so bad. We did it. Victory is ours. Can't believe it. My undefeated record. My legendary win streak. It's over. And yet, I feel strangely content. Enough. You win. Just hand me over the coppers and be done with it. To the coppers and be done with it. So, the researcher forced you to work for him, like he did with that other fiends. That's right. Told me to smash and grab the meteorites from the forest, but not what he wanted them for. All this way to nab some delinquent goon and no leads on Keisha or calling in to show for it. Not to mention my beautiful ride getting trashed. That one's on you, Hildibrand. Perhaps we can try running together next time. Oh, if you're looking for Quiche, I know exactly where he'll be, waiting for my meteorite delivery over by the cliffs southwest of here. Why didn't you say that sooner? I bet Carnelian is there with him. You won't escape me this time. I leave this criminal Cactor in your custody. Fiendish appearance aside, 'tis a man's soul within, so please treat him accordingly. Now, let us follow the detective to these cliffs, shall we? I must ensure these villains are served a gentleman's justice. happy heart. Do you smell it? The scent of criminality is in the air. I can hear them just up ahead. Let me get the drop on them before we go all barging in. He's late. We must assume something went wrong. These meteorites will provide the perfect energy source. I would prefer to harvest a surplus, but it is too great a risk to linger here. Freeze, mage. You so much as twitched lips and your light. I'll light you up. No, I worked too hard to give up now. He's getting away. He'll keep. I've got the one I want. But I don't think I'm taking you in just so you can escape. Never again. Murder is not the answer, detective. Where did Carnelian go? You almost had me. Not for this bumming fool you tolerate. Soft as ever. You and me are done, Hildibrand. Stay out of my way. What was with that bug? My recent inadequacies as an inspector appear to have earned the detective's ire. 'Twas you who he turned to for assistance with this case, yo. It is only fitting that you remain at his side for the duration. Meanwhile, National and I shall persist with our independent inquiries. Oh, they teleport me here, eh? Okay. Sorry for the sudden exit back there, but that yolk for brains had me steaming. Ellipses. the love of, I see you skulking over there, soft-boiled. Isn't this a delightful spot for serendipity? We were simply following the villain's trail, and look how we've all run into each other, completely by chance. Well, we were only passing through after all. We should apprehend that mastermind with our own tried and true methodology. You shall see. Yo, I want you on the case with me from here on out. When it comes to a proper guide beyond the dome, as well as being tougher than yours truly, no one else fits the bill. You might need to cool your heels for a bit while I work on salvaging more data, but Hardy Boiled always gets his files in the end. See you around. Meanwhile, elsewhere. At long last, my scheme is to come to fruition. No longer must I endure the company of incompetent colleagues, always in readiness. The replication of my brilliant mind is at hand. Never again will I be known as the Kanalika Corpus Second Best. My name shall ring across the lands, carried far and wide by an army of unrivaled geniuses. Something amusing. Oh, just the fact that you repaired a device capable of miracles, yet your plans for it are so very banal. You dare mock me? What a bore he was, now to realize a dream worthy of this marvelous technology. Oh shit. Wait, is poo involved? Shit. Detective Boiled, they called me. Cool and tough as a cucumber wrapped in old leather. I'm a man who prefers his own company. Today's egg was overdone. I let the pot boil and boil, a match to my mood. They say you can't make a cracked shell whole again. Maybe it's time I smashed it completely. Core, those are some troubling thoughts. Can anyone save Detective Hildibrand from himself? I bet the inspector can. With us on the case, a happy ending is never far away. Shishio, I work fast, but not that fast. Come back another day, will ya? Well, before you go, do you remember what I said? I felt eyes on me? Well, I still feel like I'm being watched. Maybe I do have some idle-headed admirer after all. Okay, and that's gonna do it for Hildibrand 7.45. Thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.